Good morning. Happy Palm Sunday. You know, this is a reminder for us, Unity students worldwide, all humans worldwide, to remember that when Jesus rode into Jerusalem, the 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 very welcoming words were Hosanna. Hosanna was praising that Messiah. That's the Messiah that we will serve. What are we serving as Unity students? The Christ consciousness? Maybe it's the good consciousness. Maybe it's just justice and righteousness all involved in one. What is this Christ consciousness? Well, the title of the talk is The Power Within. When we have the power within, we are essentially connected or aligned with that divineness, that one presence, that one power. So that makes it a dynamic energy that Charles Fillmore talked about in a couple of his books. But let us talk about the understanding part. What do we understand that power within us? If we say it's the Christ consciousness, or if we say it's the goodness in us, why is it such an important power? You know, we have 12 powers, and a couple of them I'm going to mention today. Understanding is one of our 12 powers. The word power is one of our 12 powers. Imagination is another one. So I want to, in this talk, you're going to hear all three of them utilized into an effect that's going to make you try to figure out how you can make that power work at this moment, in this lifetime, not just for you, but for the collective consciousness. Now let's do this. First of all, I want to do something because there's a light behind me that I forgot about, and I want to turn it off so you can see me a little better. But when we understand something, you know, in unity, we have divine mind, we have the Christ consciousness, and we have the expression, which is expressing into form. In other words, there's a thought, there's a vision, and then there's a manifestation into form or whatever you desire. So let's just focus on that area. The power within starts right here, right here. You've heard the expression, you want to change your life? Change your thoughts. That's why that power within is not just here, but it's here. And it's in our core being, a little lower than here. So when we have a vision, a thought, an idea, and it's a good one, and our intention is very strong on making it come to fruition, we practice with the Christ consciousness. Why? Because salvation starts within the Christ consciousness, that good thinking, that godly thinking, the God in us. Now remember, Christ consciousness is not Jesus consciousness, although Jesus exemplified the behavior that a human should have when we are going through this human experience. He exemplified it till his death. He prayed and spoke to his Father, the God in him, till his last breath. Let my spirit return to you, he told them. This is what we're talking about. The spiritual consciousness that we have will always be there. It's eternal. It's eternal because it is powerful. So we understand one thing about this visualization of a spiritualization. So let's all remember that when we have that vision, not just for ourselves and not just for humankind, but for all living creatures, plants, animals, ants, insects, oh, the whole enchilada here on earth. on earth is the human experience. Let's understand the word power. That's the visualization, that creation of a thought and making it come to a manifestation of form. Now we look around the world, and out there's division. Out there's chaos. Out there's all egotistical uh, manifestations of the human consciousness. Remember, I said the human consciousness, because that's a little lower than the spiritual consciousness or the Christ consciousness or the divine in us consciousness, the God in us. That God in us is the power within. So when we say, let's take for example prayer. When we're praying, and I acknowledge the chaplains out there in the audience, but when we're praying, it's kind of like a visualization in unity. We don't bequest, we don't ask for anything. We are visualizing a positive affirmation in our lives at that moment. And we're acknowledging that all will be well or is well. So remember, the prayer is the thought. The prayer, the answer to any prayer, for example, is in the prayer, especially if you're doing a positive affirmation or a positive prayer. But let's just talk about that for a minute. The God in us, that God in us, that one power, that one presence, wants us, you, them, everyone. The God in us wants us to implement in this physical dimension a true prayer, a prayer of positive affirmation for everybody, all creatures. We want peace. We want joy. We want love. We want understanding. We want a good life, and so on. Anything under the umbrella of goodness is what God in us wants for us to implement. We didn't come here to implement anything bad. We didn't come here to do that at all. We came here to visualize what's happening out there in this third dimension. And from the fourth dimension vantage point, the spiritual vantage point, we are aware that there's goodness in everything. And when we get to that point collectively as humans, when we get to that collective consciousness, only then will the power within us be working at its fullest to create a peaceful, joyful, and happy life. The kingdom of heaven is within your midst, on earth as it is in heaven, on the spiritual vantage point as it is in the human vantage point. That's when we create that manifested vision. That thought that we had has come into fruition, has come into form of a beautiful, wonderful world. And if you're looking out there for it, not going to find it. If you're looking in here for it, there it is. So this prayer, this true prayer, is the way we want to start off our manifestation. Yeah. You want to take sides out there in the theater of politics, in the theater of religion, in the theater of government? You want to take sides? You're carrying baggage. Spoiler alert, you're carrying baggage. So, in order for us to exercise that power effectively, we got to let go of that baggage. It could start from forgiveness. You have a problem with somebody, forgive them. Stand your ground or hold your vision of that peace that you want. Hold your vision of that joy that you want. That's what we want to do. We want to hold the peace, hold the vision of peace, hold the vision of love. Friends, not rocket science for us to come to this earth and realize that all this we asked for. Yeah, the most uncomfortable thing you're faced with right now, You ask for it. It's there to present itself to you so you can work with it. Work your power within. Work that Christ consciousness. Work that goodness in you. We all have it. We are all in this entire earth. I don't care who you are, what your background is, what color your skin is, what religion you are, what party you are from on politics. Get out of that. We are all emissaries of the divine. Now, once we get that through our heads, the baggage is starting to get loose. You're starting to leave those suitcases behind. You let go of that baggage. That's why we have all these rituals, the burning bowl, the Lent, the Advent. These are for us to let go of that baggage. Right now, we have what we call the end of Lent. We're Easter's coming. We have a resurrection of consciousness. Every year we have that. How many times do we have to resurrect our consciousness? As much as it takes. We got to do it every year. Let's do it every year. So visualize collectively when you are in that prayer mode or when you are in that thought of good intention. Remember, it's all about goodness, but you want to do the good intention of goodness, not just for you, for the whole world, including every creature. Understand that point. Understand the spirit of oneness, because that's what we're supposed to be doing right now, making it a world that's got this vision laid on it, and we got a hold of that vision, and we got a hold of that peace as a future visualization for us. If it's not happening out there, and it is happening in here, then your future visualization should be what you want to happen out there. Yes, the world can be peaceful. The world can be joyful. It's a collective consciousness that needs to be made into fruition, manifested through the thought, the prayer, the idea, into the Christ, the goodness, into form, into live it, like the 5 principles we have. The 5th one is live your truth. Well, my truth is I want peace, I want love, I want joy. Bottom line, that should be everybody's truth, right? Yes. So when I'm looking at my notes, I realized one thing. I haven't looked at them enough. I've got a half a page here. But let me tell you, just from the thoughts that I have right now, the love that I have for Brownsville, for Corpus, and many other unities. This is why I like doing what I'm doing. This is why I'm here on Zoom. I wish I could be there in person, and I will try to make an effort to do that in the next time. But I love giving you a divine message that comes through my heart, that comes through my mind, to make you realize that you have the power. You have the power within you. So one of the, if I can read my writing here, one of the expectations that we have a lot of times is we want to expect things to go right all the time, even if it's not a world vision, just an individual vision. I want to make sure I do my accounting right. I want to make sure I am at work on time. This is all visualization. Make sure you put these affirmations in your words. After you let go of that baggage, start talking right. Start talking positive, no matter what's happening around you. I'm going to be at work on time. My accounting is going to get done on time. I'm going to do my taxes on time. I am doing it. I am being it. You know, as Unity students, we are not human beings, but spiritual beings. So what does the word being? It means we are. Not just we are existent, we are. We are accepting things as they are. We are being as we are. Let it be. The power within. The power within is that every prayer that you have going out, okay? Remember this. Everything is a vibrational energy. Everything that you send out, negative or positive, it's gonna have an effect, cause and effect. That vibration will bring the results if it's a good vibration, if it doesn't have that baggage, if it doesn't have a doubt, a shadow of a doubt, if you're forgiving everything, everyone, and yourself. Get go of that baggage, and you'll see how much lighter you are as a spiritual being, and you'll feel the effects of love, joy, and peace. And now you can visualize the future. You can visualize the world being that way. But if your world, your little world in here is not the way it should be, don't expect that power within to work out there because it can. Collective consciousness works with the consciousness of every individual being light, vibrational, good vibrations, and the power to make a difference. Allow that to sink in. So take a moment right now, just one moment. Take a deep breath, just one deep breath, and release. You can close your eyes if you wish. As we go into a meditative state, envision the world with a collective consciousness of goodness. Kind of like the song that John Lennon sings, Imagine. Just imagine. Imagine the world being without borders. Imagine the world being without hate, without division. Just imagine. Everything is love. Plants, the flowers, the insects, the animals, and every human brother and sister are in the God consciousness, in the God in us. Allow that to sink in for yourself and for the world in the silence for a few seconds. Breathe in and breathe out effortlessly, naturally. Breathe in and breathe out the smell of the flowers. Breathe in and breathe out the smell of a newborn baby. Breathe in and breathe out your neighbor, the wonderful neighbor that you have. Love your neighbor. Love those that don't love you, and your baggage will be gone. Allow the love of the God in you to just kind of ripple out, to just permeate every living creature, every living plant and animal. We're emissaries of the divine on this earth. We have the power within to accomplish anything. We have that unlimited potential. Jesus said, "You would do greater works than I." This is the work that he was talking about. Take another deep breath in and release. And the light of God surrounds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever you are, God is, and so it is. Amen.